Hi, in today's video, we're going to be doing a video review for a product that's being released on Friday, October 16th called ProfitMeet. And it's from the developers of Mike McKay, Radu, and Kalen. And they put together this product called ProfitMeet, and it's launching today. And what we're going to do is look at the sales page, and then we're going to also go into looking at the dashboard and what you're going to get for your money. And I want to analyze and look at it from a newbie's point of view, as I do with all the products I review. As a newbie, I see several things that I would be wary of at the moment, and we'll take a look at that in a minute. If you are a new visitor to our channel, please subscribe to our channel. Also hit the bell icon so you get notified every time I publish a new video to our channel. I'd also like to remind you that if you're like I was a year ago, struggling and jumping from one shiny object to another, trying to figure out how to get a business built that would make me some money long term and would be stable for me, that I could do from home, then what I suggest is click the link in the description below for great free training, great free tips on how to get started today with a business that you'll be proud of once you start it and get building it. And it's simple enough to do that I'm doing it. So without waiting any further, let's move on into ProfitMeet from Mike McKay and his two buddies. Okay, with ProfitMeet, as I could look through the sales page, the first thing I noticed is they're selling it big time on the idea that it's a one-time low price to have the product. Now that's excluding any OTOs that come with the product. As usual, you're probably going to buy low and enter into something that you're going to need to buy one or two OTOs to get to a point where maybe something you think in your mind at the moment as a newbie, where you are in your business right now, that you need to take advantage of to buy into and have on your shelf of tools. But I don't look at it that way, and I want you to look at this through the eyes that I'm looking at. Take the emotion out, take the one-time fee out. So I want to shoot that duck as it flies overhead. I want to look at the pricing plans for GoToWebinar and pricing plans for Skype and pricing plans for Zoom. Now we're going to only do Skype as only a mention, just because Skype is mentioned sometimes as a way to massively communicate with people today. So we're going to take Skype off the table, and then we're going to look at the Zooming pricing and the GoToWebinar pricing. Now let's go back. I promise you to look at the dashboard. What you're going to do is sign into the dashboard, and what you're going to get is a look that looks like this here. Now you can start a meeting. Now this is where we're at right now, is I want to see at the user preference. What basically you set up here, you set up like your time, your date, where you are, your time zone, whether you're English, Spanish, whatever, but you're setting yourself up here. And then there's other things, little settings like mute the sound, things that would openly have to start up a meeting that you have set up. But we're going to go as you start a meeting, which do with that is you click on that, and they're going to give you 5 choices. You have audio conference, live class, podcast, video conference, and webinar. Now, just to do podcast real quick. Podcast, not that there's been like hundreds and thousands of people that have done podcasts in the last few years. So in their news, in their sales letter, they mentioned you could have a podcast like Joe Rogan. That's probably not going to happen. I think Joe Rogan is 1 in a million shot. Again, they're putting emotion in there. If you look through the sales page, they're talking about the unlimited number of conferences, unlimited whatever. Unlimited, it's on cloud-based. That's a magic term today, cloud-based. And all these, and no monthly fees, pay once, use forever. The only thing I want to mention with that pay forever is that I have a little something I want to show you about Mike McKay, the product launcher. It looks like over a 2.5 year history of launching products on Muncheye that Mike has been involved in an enormous amount of launches, product launches, which is what I would call a serial launcher. So if you look on Muncheye for the launch, Michael Mack, as he is known on Muncheye, is what I call a serial launcher. This is last year, June 27th, all the way up through. Here's January this year, January 30th, February 5th, February 12th, February 27th. 3 launches in 1 month there. These are all WP Central Hub, Amazon Affiliate, Embarrassing Niche. Just look at the list. This is what I call a serial launcher. He has a couple with a couple other people. This is with Evan Boyden. But these are all, look at the products. Now, back I know 4 or 5 years ago when I was more involved with buying these products, Michael McKay would have very often PLR products available on Warrior Plus. So, but as you can see, look at this. This is another, this is all this year. Here's January. Actually, that's the last 3 years. Looking down, because this is all this year here. Because we come to ProfitMeet, and then we have one coming up on the 19th of November. Looks like they've been a little bit less here the last month. So, and a serial launcher is basically launching something. Sometimes you did 2 or 3 launches in a 10-day period. I'm just saying they're into selling something, not maybe supporting it like it needs to be supported. And something like this probably should be supported. You probably should know that one-time fee, if you buy this, log into this, and you get this, that what you have is going to be there for long term. It's not going to be something that a year from now you're going to find that the 3 developers have decided not to support the product anymore because not that many people were using it. So it's time to move on and work with developing something new to develop more income stream for them. So, but what you have set up, you have a dashboard set up, you have instant meetings, you have meetings, segments, contacts, you have the inner contacts. I was looking for this. They talk about having an auto responder. This will not hook into another auto responder from what I can see. It basically is an auto responder. You have to put in the contacts individually when you put them in here. So you've taken a bunch of people that you are specifically wanting to have come into a meeting through, however you get their names and addresses and set it up individually. That's something there to think about. I didn't see that you could import a list in there if you have a big list for something that you want to use this for your own purposes. Contacts and users. You can set up multiple users again, and you can also set up to-do lists. So if you have 5 people in your office that you want to have like a to-dos to remind them, and then remind them about the meeting coming up, that's cool. So I'm just saying as long-term, maybe not counting this as a long-term solution, because very often in this kind of in internet marketing business, the long-term results come from paying for what you're getting. And even Zoom has free up to 100 participants. Well, if you have a small inner office and you have 15, 19, 20 people, this will more than support having, for free, up to a 40-minute meeting and unlimited one-on-one meetings. So that's free. I mean, that's Zoom. It's got a name. They've been around. They're going to be around for a while. They have a lot invested in it. They'll keep it updated. And then go to WebNow is the same thing. And they have, the plans from $49 a month up to $399 a month. Now, they do mention in the sales letter, again, about the $400 a month payments. Well, that's true. That is true. But I'm saying there's way up this promise of a one-time fee solving everything with, do you really need a $400 plan on GoToWebinar? And you probably don't. I mean, it's only if you have some huge product where you're not going to have a problem, where you're making thousands and thousands of dollars over a short period of time. You're not going to mind paying $400 for that resource of having GoToWebinar for a couple webinars over a 2 or 3 week period of time. So it's just a thing of looking at and thinking about this in a logic way without the emotion. Because what we're going to do is look at the sales letter here. It's unlimited webinars and videos at one low time price. And the voice of these videos is even one of the famous video salesmen out of Boston that does voiceovers professionally on tons of these types of promotions the last couple of years. So that's the voice you get to promote your product. Now, this is launching in a couple hours, and I have no idea what the price point is. I haven't been able to obtain what the price point is for onset. I would say probably a $47 to $67 entry. I don't know. I could be wrong. But I'm going to tell you, it's basically really easy to get this set up. The thing I want to remind you again is we're going to go back to login area. Okay. What I found is I looked everywhere for training on how to set this up. If I'm a newbie, I really don't know how to set up any of these 5 sources of meetings that they're offering to me. I don't know how to do that. And if I don't have a mentor, I don't know where to get the information. One thing I do is look for free training from someone like my channel, where someone did research and made a video about how to do a certain a video for each one of these, let's say. And you would have to then know how to use this program too. So, it's just a thing where you have to line a lot of cars up in a row to make this train hook together and work. And so I'm questioning whether or not, because I was looking for tutorials. I would think that tutorials for here would be, they have a chat and they have support, which takes you to setting up a support ticket. But I couldn't find anywhere in here any access to any tutorials. So that's just something I'm saying to be aware of. And as you look at the sales letter, again, I just want to remind you, just go through here. They're building on us on the idea that Zoom has 300 million of people using it each month for meetings. Well, that has peaked out, I think, with COVID-19. I think a lot of people are settling into new job situations where they are using programs like this, but they've learned to cut back to what's real for them and day-to-day activity. And I can't see this 300 million people. They're basically selling you on the idea that you can set up your own webinars and sell the tickets to the webinars for an expensive class and all this stuff. All these other products are in the market to support building a dream, and then you come crashing down because you build another shiny object for your shelf behind you on your desk, which you're going to look at and then you're never going to bring it out, or it's a folder on your computer. So I'm just saying, look at this. Some of these figures, the figures are correct. I showed you the figures. These pricing points again, just real quick so you catch an eye on them again. This is Zoom, and this is GoToWebinar, the 2 things that they mention a lot in here. And if you're going to borrow on Zoom, then I showed you Zoom is already at host up to 100 participants, 40-minute meeting length, and unlimited one-on-one meetings. So I just question what you need as a newbie. What do you need to have? Now, I looked through the OTOs. They provided some videos. This is before the launch. Looks like they're going to sell you on a ProfitMeet, which is, again, what I warned about at the beginning, that going to pay in $47, maybe $67 at the launch. But to get certain features, A, B, C, you get with that, but then features D through Z, which are being offered as part of the pro part, you're going to pay another $67, $77, $99 maybe for that. And then you're off to the races or reseller rights and all that. I don't have a specific information on the OTOs at the moment, but that's kind of what it looked like when I looked at some of the training videos for that. There's a ProfitMeet Enterprise version, which is for, probably the Zoom or GoToWebinar $399 version. They got their own version for a one-time fee. So just saying, look at it that way. Look at the sales letter. The guarantee to your money back. Again, I'm always saying just be prepared that if you buy it, it's yours, you own it. Once you take the car off the lot, it's probably yours unless you dramatically want to reduce how much money you get for it when you bring it back on the car lot. I think it's the same thing here. You're going to have to prove to them that their program did not work and did not bring in, you're just instantly going to get 300 million daily users. I can't see it. And if you're looking at, I showed you that Mike McKay is a serial releaser of products. I can't see hopping from one product to another, that he's going to promote every product equally and with the same gusto that, let's say, if I own Zoom or I own GoToWebinar, I would support and keep this sucker up to date. So that's the way I look at it. That's my view of it. I'm just saying, be careful. Newbies, I don't think you need it. Again, what are you going to, aren't going to have the traffic for that. You're not developed to that point. You're not ready for it. I'm just saying, be careful of how much money you're spending on a shiny object. I'm not saying this won't work. I'm not saying it won't work at all, but I'm just saying it's probably much larger than where you're at as a newbie. So keep that in mind as you go through. This is just a webinar. I would rate this at the moment at a 5 out of 10, just because it probably does work. But I think they're selling you as a newbie on it that you need it. It's something you need now, and I just can't see. See, it says effectively replacing both Skype and Zoom for you. Again, Skype's free, Zoom's free. The bigger growth things, you probably want something that's more, the Zooms or the GoToWebinars, you probably want them to be there for you if you have business growth to that point, or you're more than willing to pay that for a month or two for what you need it for. Keep that in mind, just things to think about. As you go through the sales page, just remember what you're doing, what you're building, what your goal is, where you're at right now, and learn to walk before you run. That's all I'm going to say about it. I give it a 5 out of 10. If you like this video, please give us a large thumbs up. If this video meant nothing to you, then just ignore it. Please write comments or questions down below the video. I always appreciate them. I'll personally respond to them. And if you're a first-time visitor, or if you have been here a few times, please subscribe to our channel. It helps us with YouTube, and also hit the bell notifications to get notified every time I have a new video that comes in here that might be something that you might find important to have access to. Delay this any longer. I just want to remind you one more time that while you're at it, there's free training that you can get your business started today. Click the link down below in the description for free training that has my mentor Philip Barrowman. It's part of his training program. It's free. It's available today to get started. Click the link for free training down below. We appreciate you. Thank you for watching our video, and so long.